Welcome back to the Marlins here on OOTP 26. As you can see, we have arrived here at the end of the season. It is the offseason. The playoffs have just concluded. The Texas Rangers beat us in the World Series. It has been a bit since I've played this game. For you, obviously, you just saw me post this 2 days ago or whatever. For me, it's been like 2-3 weeks since I played this game. So we're gonna dive back into things here as we prepare for the 2031 season. One thing I want to do just right off the bat so I don't forget is where the hell is it? Yes, here we go. League settings options. We want to have automatic evolution, and we want to uncheck all of this bullshit except for more or less offense, more or less pitching. So now the run environment will consistently change as we go along with the save. I wanted to just play on the modern day run environment just to start off for the first few seasons. So we're multiple seasons into this now, and I feel like it's a good time to check these on. So let's try to get some different run environments going. We also have multiple decisions on options we have to decide on. Dustin May, who has been... He's been okay. He's been solid in his 2 years for us, but he's fragile. He's 33. I'm leaning towards just voiding this, just paying the $700,000 buyout, and getting rid of him. He does actually have some trade value, so maybe we should try to trade him for like somebody, but I don't know. It always feels kind of scummy to trade for a guy who's on an option. I guess if a team is going to trade for him, they would be accepting his option, but you never know with these AI teams. But there really isn't anything too exciting. Like, I guess we could get like a pitcher who's more team controllable. It's not going to be anything overly good if we do trade Dustin May. Jack Perkins still kicking around. You know what? Screw it. We're going to get this guy. We're going to get this Washington Nationals pitcher, Dylan Smith. They got him from Detroit in a trade in 2026, coming off a 4.5 WAR season, 6 R WAR in AAA with the Rochester Red Wings. Decent ground ball pitcher, not the greatest stuff or control, but he's got 50 everywhere else. 30 years old, has never touched the major leagues, has all 3 of his options, has never even touched the 40-man roster, I'd imagine, if he has no service time and all 3 of his options. So Dylan Smith, we're going to pick him up here, and who knows if he stays on the team, but we're going to trade Dustin May just to, possibly maybe have Dylan Smith on the team. And then the other option we have to decide on is Ryan Weathers, which is one that I think I'm leaning towards accepting. Ryan Weathers has been, for this entire series, just a steady pitcher. He has always had a better than league average ERA+, and he has always had a better than league average FIP. Just every single season, a really good pitcher. He had his best season for us this past year, so we're definitely going to be accepting the option on Ryan Weathers here for this season. Bang. Ryan Weathers, welcome back to the team. Also, big increase here. Our fan loyalty is now up to above average. So that is, in the green now. Fan interest is only 66. Our market size is obviously still small, but we'll take an improved fan accuracy for sure. And then, of course, Jacob Miller, we all know, torn labrum, ended his career. Looked like he was going to be a good reliever for us. Maybe could have eventually transitioned back to the rotation, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case because the extremely popular national player, more popular nationally than he is local, that's weird to me, considering he's never played for any other organization other than ours. But Jacob Miller, career over. And I saw someone say that I should make him a coach. Like, sure, we'll turn him into a coach. He's now available as a bench coach. Sure. Yeah, so now he's a bench coach with actually good ratings. Okay. We do have some manager vacancies. Would I be crazy to just go ahead and offer Jacob Miller the AAA manager job or the high A manager job just to start out? Maybe he goes in Beloit. I think we're going to do that. Jacob Miller here, we are going to give him a not bench coach. We're going to give you the A-ball manager job, huh? Yeah. Did I just offer him the Jupiter job? Am I stupid? I did offer him the Jupiter job. Okay, well, we can solve this. we can just simply solve this. We offered him the Jupiter job. We can take Jupiter's manager, and we can promote him to the manager in... Why am I not able to make him the manager in Beloit? I can make him the manager in AAA. I can make him the AA manager, but I can't make him the manager in High A? That seems ridiculous. Okay, so what if we do this then? What if we go, Prada gets promoted to the AAA manager. Bang. You're the AAA manager now. You're the AA manager. Bang. So now we've got Jacob Miller will be the A-ball coach, and then we'll hire a new guy to be A+, or advanced A. Alright, so just a quick little brief preview of, or at least as brief as I can keep it with my rambling that I tend to do, what our team is going to be looking like here heading into the season, just some ideas, thoughts on moves we might make this offseason. In the rotation, Hurston Waldrop, we know that he got hurt towards the end of this season. He did have an incredible year, like a Cy Young type season for us, and even though he did get hurt, he hasn't gotten hurt a ton in his career, and none of it has really ever been like too serious. So I'm hoping it's not going to make him be fragile, because I also want to consider giving him as much of a Ryan Weathers type extension as possible. Because remember, we gave Ryan Weathers, I think it was after the first season, that 6-year, $35 million deal, which ended up being just crazy good value for the type of pitcher that Ryan Weathers has been for us. And I'm kind of hoping that we can possibly do something like that for Hurston Waldrop. Now, it's not going to be as cheap because he is entering arbitration this season. I'm curious what it would be. Yeah, so like he already wants it to be up into like the 20s, but also we're not trying to extend him into his late 30s here. Like Ryan Weathers is just now getting to 30, and we have him for one more year at age 31. So Hurston Waldrop going to be entering his age 29 season. If we go ahead, and so that's 3 years of ARB, that's arbitration, then maybe 1 year free agency, so we give him a 4-year extension. We take off these team options. He's estimated to make what are his ARB estimates? Waldrop, where the hell are you? 4.8, 9.4, 13.4. Alrighty, so we're going to be offering him a 4-year extension next season. He's estimated to make 4.8 at arbitration. We're knocking that down $200,000. We're knocking it the next year at 9.4, down $200,000. The next year at 13.4, knocking it down $200,000. And then for the free agency year at age 32, we're going to get him at 18.5. And hopefully he's able to stay healthy for all 4 of these seasons. So as far as the arbitration, or back to the rotation here. So we have Hurston Waldrop. We've just offered him an extension. We've got Ryan Weathers for 1 more season. If he ends up being like as good as he has been for us, I might be interested in offering him an extension. He's not interested in extending, like you just saw, until the end of his contract. So at the end of next season, if he wants a reasonable deal, we might consider extending him because he's been that good of a player for us. But if he wants like to get paid, which I wouldn't blame him for, because he's been that good of a pitcher, probably going to be doing that somewhere else. And then I think we have like a spot open in our rotation this year now that we've let go of Dustin May. How we fill that spot, I'm not sure how it's going to be. But I do think that Noble Meyer, even though he's not my ideal type of pitcher with the extreme fly ball, he was so good for us this year that I think he just earned another chance to be in the rotation next year. So Noble Meyer is going to be in the rotation. I'm also thinking we're leaning towards giving Peyton Martin a spot in the rotation as the 5th guy, whether that's as a follower, whether that's just as a traditional starter, even if he is extreme fly ball now, even as he is, I should say. I just think that he's an interesting enough pitcher that we should give him a chance in the rotation. So we're going to do that. We're going to put him in the 5th spot, and then that opens up the 3rd spot, because I think Waldrop and Weathers are the certified 1 and 2 for us. And then that opens up whether it's a free agent we sign, whether it's somebody in the organization, whatever it may be, a 3rd starter is going to be a new player for us this season. And as far as the bullpen, I think that these 5 guys right here are dudes we want in the bullpen. Like Walker is guaranteed to be with us because he has 1 more year in his deal. Mike Carrier, obviously going to be with us in the bullpen. He could go to the rotation possibly, but I think I want to put him in the bullpen along with TJ Griffin, who's going to be in the bullpen. And then, Meza, like I talked about, as a lefty. And then Keegan Akin, expiring free agent. He's 35 years old, but he has been so good for us the past 3 years that I'm just like, why not try to run back a year of Keegan Akin? 8.5? Are you kidding? Like 100%, man. Would you do 7.5? 7.8 though. What about how about an option year? Bang! How about that? 7.5 for another year of Keegan Akin, and then if he does it again, we'll bring him back for another year. Why not? And if not, it's only a $750,000 buyout. Bang! Keegan Akin, welcome back, man. Marlins legend at this point. So yeah, Keegan Akin in this group of 5 that's going to be the solidified guys in our bullpen that have guaranteed spots. These long relief guys are guys that could possibly end up on spots, or they could be in AAA to start the year. I think that Hubeck and Silva are the ones I like the most out of these guys, but I like Wagner decent amounts. Gallant could be interesting as like a possible like 5th starter long relief sort of option for us. He was good in AAA this year. Pretty decent, I should say. And then we have the 2 options of Kahanowitz and King. Both of these guys have not been, they haven't developed to be as good as you would hope, but they've been solid relievers for us. King, not so much this year, more so last year, but he definitely got way lucky last year with the ERA, according to his FIP. And he is a guy who's projected to make $2 million in arbitration, which isn't the end of the world. We could bring him back for that if we wanted to, but he's about to be like 30 years old, so it wouldn't be totally crazy to like move in a younger direction, a more cheaper, team controllable option with more options. Same with Kahanowitz, who has no options and is slated to make $3.8 million. So I'm thinking that Kahanowitz and King are guys we either trade. If they don't have trade value, then we probably just non-tender them rather than bring them back. But we could possibly bring them back. We'll have to see how things shake out, but I'm leaning towards they're not going to be Marlins for 2031. And then these 3 guys are just guys who will 100% not be back. Dylan Lee, the veteran lefty, he's an expiring contract. It was nice knowing you. Christian Scott, torn UCL in the last year of his contract. He was good for us for 3 seasons, at least steady. It was a steady like 4 or 5 guy. It was whatever. He was a valiant fish. And then Jared Schuster, brutal for him. Comes in here in an expiring contract, pitches in the postseason, blows out his elbow in the postseason. Now he's going to miss all of next year, too. So then on the hitting side of things, if we take a look at just the rough idea of what the team is going to look like, obviously Ramirez is our catcher. I'm thinking I want to run back the Partridge-Camilo first base duo. We could possibly just let Partridge hit against lefties, because he's not exactly a slouch against lefties. He's very average across the board. But Camilo was so good for us this year in that role that it's like, why not? Why not give him a chance to just do it again? He's from Rutgers. We all know I'm a Rutgers guy. It's just, why not? Why not? But maybe not, because he is on auto at $3.4 million. I don't know if I want to pay a guy $3.4 million to just be like a short side, goodish platoon. But it's either going to be Partridge full-time at first base, or it's going to be Partridge and Camilo, or maybe do Partridge and Jonathan India playing against lefties. Because he's been in AAA for us, just raking the past few years. Who knows? It could be anything. But first base will be some combination of either Partridge and Camilo, or Partridge and India, or Partridge and maybe Camilo Diaz gets some ABs at first base. That's honestly, that I'm looking at that's probably our best option, is doing it with Camilo Diaz. So maybe Camilo is not on our team next year. But yeah, Camilo Diaz will be a mainly bench piece for us, because I don't think I want to move Brooks Lee to shortstop, although we could try it. It would be crazy, though. It would be crazy to be like, hey, Brooks Lee, you're about to be 30 years old. How about you move the shortstop? Especially since even with the development boost, he wasn't that great at second base this season. He was not good in his 14 games of shortstop that he had. So I shouldn't say he wasn't. It wasn't like he was bad at second base, but he wasn't putting up like prime Brooks Lee second base numbers, even with the dev boost to his shortstop or his range and whatnot in the last offseason. So I don't think we want to mess with him and put him at shortstop and ruin what his value is. So Brooks Lee, I think we're going to keep him at second. We're going to keep Lar at third, obviously. And then shortstop's just kind of up in the air because arbitration is both of our shortstops. Now, Starlin Caba, his time has passed, I think. He is not a good enough bat to be a useful platoon guy, and then his glove, even though it looks like his glove could be like elite level, his bat is just so incredibly bad that like you don't want this playing 140 plus games for you. You just don't. So Starlin Caba, you know, we might bring him back to just be like a depth guy, but I don't think, you know, just be like AAA, and if we need somebody to play shortstop because of injuries or something, he's the guy. But I don't think we want to bring him back to be like a shortstop. And then Acosta, at $7 million in arbitration this season, do we want to bring him back for that price? He's pretty much firmly at this point just solidified himself as a 2-WAR shortstop who never hits. He's just not a bat. Unfortunately, that's how he's developed. I wouldn't say he's a Gold Glove shortstop, but he's a solid enough shortstop to give you some spots there. And then, you know, you never know what's going to be in free agency, but generally there's not usually an option to play shortstop in free agency. So Acosta could just be our best option, and $7 million isn't the end of the world, so we might just bring him back for another run at shortstop and pretty much just have, like, the same lineup. Because as far as the rest of the guys go, we've got obviously Vargas in left, Head in center, we're going to be rocking the Garza-Meekhoff platoon in right field, Garza against righties as the left-handed bat, and then Meekhoff against lefties as the right-handed bat. And it's not like Meekhoff is a slouch, or I guess he still has to develop his righties, but like he should be able to hit against righties once he's fully developed. So when they both fully develop, you know, maybe we end up in a situation where we have to like put one of them a DH and maybe trade Partridge and move Shotwell to first or something. But we'll tackle that when the time comes, as the pen falls off my desk here. And then we like Camilo Diaz as a bench piece for us, possibly a platoon at first base as well. Meekhoff and Garza are going to share that platoon role in right field, and then whichever one's not playing is the fourth outfielder. Peyton Eales is still around, not even arbitration eligible yet, so he's going to be around for another season as like an interesting bench bat for us. Backup catcher will probably just be either Palma or Grindlinger again, even with Palma's horrible season he had, but he did turn things around as things progress throughout the season. As we look through like July, August, September, definitely much better than his April through June, which was just like comically bad. And then Grindlinger is just, I think he is firmly like the third catcher, because I just don't think this bat is ever going to be something where you want him playing a ton. So he's definitely like the third catcher, and he's still got plenty of options. So he'll be the third catcher next year. Palma will be the backup. And the bats are pretty much solidified, except for what are we going to do at shortstop. I'm leaning towards bringing back Acosta, but we could end up with a different guy at that spot. We will have to see how things shake out. And I think that is just overall what the plan is. So yeah, we extended Waldrop. I think we're going to just withdraw on these guys and just see what their trade value is. Caba is a 1.5 in ARB. So what if we dock you down to like 1.35? How about 1.4? How about 1.45? Bang. Okay. We'll get another year of Caba to be just like a AAA shortstop for us. Do Kahanowitz and King have any trade value? I'm just curious if there's anybody interested in these guys. Joseph King has some offers out there, so we may be able to trade these guys for some dudes who have some more options and aren't on arbitration, like maybe Angel Cheville, who has developed a little bit, but the stuff is not like, I just don't think this stuff is ever going to be anywhere near 75. This is just straight up the game gaslighting you. This is OOTP 26 going downhill because they lose one developer. That's what this is right here. But the movement's not bad. The control's is pretty solid. He's still got a really good fastball, slider, changeup. So like, even if the stuff is only 45 or 50, you know, maybe he could still be decent. And he's a guy who's never really sniffed much of the major leagues. He has 90 days, still has 2 options. He could be an interesting option for the bullpen. There's guys like, yeah, no. Okay, Robert Kalina is an interesting reliever from the Louisville Bats in the Reds organization. All 3 option years, has never sniffed the major leagues. Could be an option for sure. Was good in AAA this year in their rotation. He's a guy who could give you some starter innings, and he could also give you some bullpen stuff. So he could be an option. I think I'm leaning him over Cheville right now. I think, because Cheville does have the home run allowed, which isn't great. Honestly, like, Cheville might be better than him even when they... Or it's the home run allowed is what the issue is going to be. Is Kalina is going to have the movement, which is whatever, because he has decent control, movement, 4 good pitches, and Cheville has the 45 home runs allowed, which is going to limit his productiveness. But he also strikes at a ton of guys, whereas Kalina, he strikes at a decent amount of guys. Man, that's tough. Alright, I've scrolled through all these guys. Those are definitely the best ones available to us, are Kalina and Cheville. So I'm interested to see does Kahanowitz have, like, the same dudes? Or is it going to be less dudes? Less dudes. Okay, so what if we go Kahanowitz, Cincinnati, AAA, Robert Kalina, and of course it removes him. Kahanowitz, Kalina. Okay, so they're saying it's a toss-up. Yeah, they would say no to this. They just don't think Kahanowitz is valuable whatsoever. Do the Cubs think he's valuable? As it removes Kahanowitz from the deal. Kahanowitz, Cheville. No. So yeah, Kahanowitz just doesn't have value. Maybe it's because he's basically the same type of pitcher as Joseph King, and he's more expensive. That could be why he has less value. So we're gonna have to figure out who we want between Kalina and Cheville. Now also, this stuff probably does tick up when you move him to the bullpen. So like, as a starter, it's 45 to 75, but as a reliever, it could be 55 already. And he's got that fastball, which is obviously a much better pitch than what Kalina's got. But then Kalina could tick up too in the bullpen, but he doesn't throw it. I think we're going to go Cheville. I'm just curious. Cheville to reliever. The stuff does automatically tick up to 50, so Cheville, that is good to know. Alrighty, so we have gone ahead and added our 10 players to the development lab here. First on the list is Peyton Martin. Looking to put him in the rotation this season. So we're going to try to tap into some of this stuff by moving up one of his off-speed or secondary pitches. Secondary pitch improvement, which is just a medium difficulty. Hoping to improve either this slider or this changeup. And maybe the stuff goes up and he has a whole profile of green. And that would make it much, much more intriguing. Even though it already is pretty intriguing, maybe it would be even better. We shall have to see. Mike Carrier, we are trying to improve his control for obvious reasons. Elite home run suppression. Can he just knock down the walks? Not that he was walking a ton of guys, performing like he has a lot of control, but maybe we could get the control to be even better somehow. And then we also have Carlos Meza, who his profile looks incredible. If we could possibly get his stamina up to 35, maybe Carlos Meza's the guy we throw into the rotation. Just an option. Get another lefty in the rotation. That could be an interesting thing. And then we also threw in Nolan Shawnuel, just trying to tap into some of this gap power that he still has. Or maybe we do the power. Yeah, I think we're going to go power with him. Shawnuel, bat speed. So yeah, Shawnuel, we're going for power with him. Then we have Camilo Diaz on the list, who we are also trying to generate bat speed. He has that 70 potential. It's already pretty solid at 55, but if we can tap into that like upper echelon tier of pop, that would be fantastic with him. Then we have Dylan Head, trying to just tap into some of this potential he has on his BABIP, maybe turn him into even a better hitter than he has been for us, turn him even more of an old school type player than I've already talked about how he basically is an old school type guy. Jorge Garza, the Dream, trying to generate some bat speed. Already looking like he's going to have some generational gap power and avoid K. Can we possibly get a Juan Padilla type generate bat speed boost for him and turn him into a power bat as well. George Meekhoff, he's already looking like he's going to have a decent power, gap power, contact across the board. Can we possibly turn him into like an elite plate discipline type guy? Angel Shavilli, trying to improve his secondary pitches as well. Can we tap into some of this 85 potential on the slider or the 70 potential on the changeup, and in the process, move his stuff up even more? And then Ramon Swamp Baby Hernandez, who was our third-round pick in 2027. He is currently the number 39 prospect, 70 potential, but very flawed player because his control is very low, his movement is not the best. I'm hoping he can naturally tap into this movement as he develops a bit more, but this control, we're going to need a dev boost bump on this if he's going to be a big league starter. Otherwise, his future is big league reliever, which it looks like he could be a really good one, but it would be a shame to waste 75 stamina as a reliever. Another thing I wanted to mention here, the Chicago White Sox are the first team that I am rebranding to be one of what I think is their coolest looks from the 80s with the pullover, the red and the blue with just the socks across the chest and the socks on the hat. We've got the homes. We've got the aways. They're both loaded in for the White Sox, so they are no longer wearing black and white. They are now back to the 80s look here. This is all inspired by a couple weeks ago. My buddy Ian joined the Discord call and was like, you gotta check this out. Sends this picture, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. I've got to return the White Sox to this in my OOTP series. So there you go. We might do it for some other teams as well. I do like doing that for a lot of the different teams, just returning them to what I think is like their coolest or like my favorite of their looks. Like we might make the D-backs purple again, for example. We might, I don't know, I would give the Rockies more purple, but they don't really have any options. Maybe we return the Astros to be like red and black, like the Bagwell era. Or maybe we keep them as it is, I don't really know. We could change things up. Maybe we give the Angels a little rebrand, because, you know, they could definitely use it. So I'm just taking a look here at just every single shortstop in the game who has 70 infield range. This is all just sorted by players who have 70 infield range. It's including minor leaguers, including free agents. I don't care about international complex because we need somebody who can play now. You can see here, Acosta is he's like the worst of the guys who are fully developed. He's 55 overall. We're just not going to be able to trade for any of these guys. I mean, theoretically we could, but like it would take a lot, like to get this guy, for example. And he's also already fragile. Don't think we want to do that. So like none of these, I don't think we want to trade for like a 30-year-old. If we were going to trade for anybody, it would be like this guy, Parker Lowe, assuming that's how you pronounce that name. They got him from Texas in 2027. He looks like he was like split between AAA and the bigs last year. Looks like he could be really, really good. It would take a lot to get him. 70 range, he should be able to hang at a shortstop. It looks like they're playing him at third base. They already have Franklin Arias, who I guess is playing second. And they've got Ceddanne Rafaela, who's playing center field. So I don't really know who is playing shortstop for them. It's Marcelo Meyer. Yeah, they have Marcelo Meyer at shortstop, who they don't have locked in long term, and also he hasn't developed to be that. Well, he actually really is good. Never mind. He is really good. So obviously they're not going to move him off short. They've got Arias at second. So, and I guess this guy was their leadoff guy towards the end of the season. But maybe if we give them, I mean, they were a contending team, but they are the Red Sox. They are the Red Sox. You never know what they might do. But like he's the only guy who's like we could go and trade for. I guess Ashley Andujar could be somebody we trade for, but he's like I don't know if I love him with the 60 turn DP and the 55 arm. He's definitely more of a second base guy to me. I don't think he's like elite shortstop. But the rest of these guys are just already like solidified, and we're not going to be able to get them. And I don't want to get them because like Acosta's basically the same level of defender. He's just not the same level of bat a lot of these guys are. But like, what would it take to get this guy? We don't have anything, so we'd have to give them like a package. Like, what if we go this guy, the guy we just took in 2029 in the first round? What if we give you him? And then, okay, they still don't love it. Yeah, we're offering them basically our 3 best position player prospects. And they have no interest in that. So yeah, we're not going to be able to trade for this guy. So I'm thinking that we're just going to bring back Max Acosta for another season. He has how many more years of team control? 2. So honestly, we might just lock him up for both those years and then just have him be our shortstop at $7 million and 8.5 for the next 2 years. And then hopefully we can find a future replacement for him by the end of his tenure here in Miami, because right now we don't have that guy in the system. We definitely need to be prioritizing dudes who can play shortstop in the draft over the next couple seasons. So yeah, Acosta, we're just going to extend him for 2 years. That's 7 for this first year and 8.5 for the next. So maybe we can like talk him down to 6.8, 8.3. Okay, you don't love that. Jesus Christ, even when I give him a raise, he doesn't want to do a second year. He doesn't want to do a second year. So we're just going to do something like that, 6.8 for this first season, and we'll figure it out at the end of next season. We'll probably end up bringing him back for whatever he is in arbitration, because we need to find out who is going to be our shortstop when he leaves. Like, if we look at the current player list again, just include minor leaguers, just include anybody who's not retired, shortstop, infield range, and we sort by potential, or we'll sort by overall. So we're down here. We've got Ashley Andujar, we talked about, is not like a true shortstop. We're not going to be able to trade for Parker Lowe. If we go to page 2, there's this guy who is probably more of a second baseman than he is a shortstop. There's this guy who I guess is a incoming draft prospect. Yeah. Okay, maybe we can get that guy, but also I still think he is a second baseman more than he is a shortstop. Where did we live off? AJ Davis in rookie ball for St. Louis, not a shortstop truly. 65. Maybe, not really though. This guy is a draft prospect. He could probably be your shortstop, but he's never going to be a great bat. Was it a bat? It was also mainly avoid K. Yeah, that's that Wilbur guy. Hitchcock, not really a shortstop. Kirshner, this guy is a shortstop, but are we going to be able to get this guy in the draft? Is the thing. Marcus Kirshner. Let's add him to the keep an eye here and see if we can. Or no, not keep an eye. Let's preemptively make one for the 2031 draft and put him on that short list. And, or he's not even going to be the 2031. He'll be like, what? Maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe he's a... Yeah, maybe he's like an under 18 guy. Okay, well, we're putting him on the goddamn list, and whenever he's there, we'll be looking at him. And then, yeah, it's Mike Richards, so... Lots of, like, why is this guy here? Like, why are these guys listed? I don't understand. But anyways... not a lot of options already in Pro Ball, so we're going to have to hope that like some generational guy gets developed, or we can swing a trade for somebody, because the shortstop market is not looking great. Man, somebody is giving Jacob Miller like a current bench contract, because he keeps denying. I've offered him like 3 times now this AA contract, keep upping the money, or a single A contract, and he just keeps saying no, someone's offered me a better offer. So, like, we're at the point now where we would have to give him, like, $800,000 to be, or I guess not. We could go manager, 5 years. What would it take if I give you, let's just say, can we actually get the right thing here? Let's just say we give you $400,000. He's received a better offer. Someone's definitely given him a major league offer to be their bench coach. And we already have a bench coach. To be fair, only has 2 years left on it. Fuck it. Fuck it. It was nice knowing you, Gonzalez. It was nice knowing you. Bang. Bench coach. No! Why did I do that? So we just don't have him. We just don't have Jacob Miller. That's awesome. Just awesome stuff. So Jacob Miller is going to go be a manager somewhere else. We're going to shortlist him. or a bench coach somewhere else, and we just fired our bench coach for no reason, because I'm stupid. And was he doing any roles for us? He was doing our teach and running. So we need somebody who can teach running at a higher level, because we can't put Durrington, because Durrington's catching and infield. Just anybody. Literally anybody. Teaching running. Like this guy. You're telling me this guy wouldn't accept a bench coach at the major league level? Aaron Harvey, the Aussie? Bang, there it is. Aaron Harvey is now our bench coach. We've got this in the coaching staff. Holy crap, this guy's a good coach. So yeah, now we're able to put him as the teach running. But yeah, outstanding talent at catcher and running, and legendary at infield and outfield. Love to see it. Don't know why the staff is unhappy. I guess because our manager struggles with personable, and that is 3 of our guys. As well as temperamental, which is okay. I haven't been taking into account the personalities that great, which is not ideal, but on paper, we got a super staff. And we have now arrived here at the point of the offseason where the awards get announced, and unfortunately, Eshedri Vargas just barely loses out on MVP in the National League to Charlie Condon. Just disrespectful. Charlie Condon, I mean, you got to factor in that he's playing at Coors. You just have to. He played at Coors. You got to dock him points. You just have to. we can't be having Charlie Condon winning it for an offense-only season. I guess he was a good first baseman, too. He's a first baseman, though. Whereas Eshedri Vargas, WRC+, WOBA, average, slugging, OPS, it's the counting stats. It's the counting stats that killed him, and I guess the defense this year also. But Eshedri Vargas, he's our MVP. Finishes runner-up to Charlie Condon. And then, do we have anybody? Yeah, Laura got some votes in here as well. Dylan Head got some votes way down on the bottom of the list. In the American League, the MVP was Eric Bitonti of the Cleveland Guardians. He's that big power hitter they've had. 51 home runs this season for Cleveland. He's been up since he's been really young. Wow. Rookie. Oh, Rockies star. Yeah, this Rockies guy won Cy Young. That's crazy. I believe this guy is like a 60 overall C potential in MLB The Show. Just out of nowhere, turns into a generational prospect in this universe. And then Hurston Waldrop finishes top 4, not quite top 3, but still solid year for Hurston Waldrop. In the American League, it was Taj Bradley of the Detroit Tigers. Apparently they traded for him from Tampa Bay in 2027. Led the league in ERA and WHIP, gets the Cy Young. The National League manager is the Cubs guy. The American League manager is the Rangers guy who won the World Series. The National League rookie was Chase Brunson from TCU, from the Angels series, shout out. And then in the American League, it was Caden Sorrell from Texas A&M, outfielder for the Toronto Blue Jays. In the National League Silver Sluggers, we had a couple guys on here. Wilfredo Lara gets the Silver Slugger at third base. Dylan Head gets the Silver Slugger in center field. And Eshedri Vargas gets the Silver Slugger in right field. And then when it comes to the relief award in the National League, Luke Little gets that. I believe that's multiple for it. No, I just guess one. But he has been a very good reliever throughout this entire save. Finally gets the, is it still Rolaids? That's like the Rolaids Relief Award or whatever it is. But yeah, Luke Little wins it. Keegan Akin, not even top 3. I think that's pretty disrespectful considering how many innings he gives us, as well as being just an elite bullpen guy. I feel like that should boost him up this list a bit more, but whatever. In the American League, it was Mason Miller of the Texas Rangers, who is still pumping 100 miles an hour here at 32 years old, and just nasty, nasty stuff from him. In the NL Gold Gloves, we had none. We did have a down year for defense this season for us, but no Gold Gloves for the Marlins nonetheless. Paul Skeens is available in free agency this year, folks, at 28 years old, but he wants $47 million, and we are the Miami Marlins. Our total is $44 million, so we simply cannot afford Paul Skeens. When it comes to starters who are available in this free agent class, I think I'm leaning Johnny Brito as the possible option here. Ground ball pitcher, throws super hard, really good personality class with the high leader in there too. He's been a steady like 2-3 WAR, sometimes mainly 2.5 WAR pitcher throughout this entire save. Mainly from 2026 onwards were his best years. And wants $15 million. Could we give him like a short contract? We could probably talk him down to like 3 years, third year's an option, sort of something. The only other one that really stands out to me as interesting would be somebody like Spencer Strider, simply because his name is Spencer Strider. So you're like, oh, it's Spencer Strider, but then you're like, oh, it's 32-year-old Spencer Strider. His ratings look good. Still has good stamina, adaptability. He's still throwing decently hard, but he's coming off a bad season. He's fragile, and his injury history is just comical. I mean, this is all just this past season. That's all just the season before. 2028 he had a bunch. 2027 he had a bunch. 26 only one, but it was the torn flexor tendon in February. And then, yeah, 2025 a bunch. Just not. So yeah, he can't. So in real life he came back. Oh no, I guess this was the start. Okay, never mind. This was the start of the save. I thought he came back on the torn UCL and then immediately tore it again, but he did not do that. But yeah, just a ton of injuries, so we're not interested in committing to that, even though we would be able to do like a 1-year buy low thing on him. Maybe in our system he's able to turn it around. Good defense behind him. You know, we're going to be like limiting his innings, doing the stuff with his strategy. That could be an option, maybe. Maybe we push Peyton Martin out of the rotation, depending on what happens with his dev boost, and we go Spencer Strider and Johnny Brito, perhaps? Alrighty, folks, we have arrived at the point of the offseason where we have signed our 2031 international free agent class. You can see we went with the quantity approach this season. A lot of guys for less than the max, just signing as many players as we could possibly sign. We did get some interesting ones, though. The best being Rod Quijones here. Rod Digger Quijones, right-handed reliever. Looks like he could be absolutely filthy if he fully develops. Potential 100+ mile an hour velocity, high loyalty, high work ethic. Love to see it, hopefully. And he's durable. Love to see it. Hopefully he can develop to his potential. And then we also signed a catcher out of Micronesia. How often do you see this? He's not really a catcher. He's definitely like a DH first base. Maybe you could like get a dev lab boost in the outfield or something, but definitely an intriguing player. We'll just go ahead and make him a left fielder right off the bat. Not even going to attempt to pronounce his name, but we have this guy in the system now. Oh, and then also Rod Quijones, he was signed for $750,000. The Micronesian was signed for $1.8 million. He was the most expensive of the bunch. Tony Martinez, another big pop guy we signed here in the international free agent class. Not really a positional home. Definitely just a first baseman. Does he go up at first base, perhaps? We'll just make him a first base, because why not? But Tony Martinez here, lefty, serious pop, could develop, but obviously huge swing and miss. We signed him for $310,000. Frank Beltran, a good defensive catcher, could possibly have a decent bat to go along with it. Signed him for $150,000. Juan Cordero is a decent, or a pretty solid actually, defender, outfielder who could possibly have really good like gap power, decent contact with some pop, potential at the plate, line drive hitter as well. He was signed for $900,000 flat. And then Bill De La Garza, another big power swing and miss guy we took a shot on, corner outfielder. He was signed for $450,000. Jose Ferrantino is another outfielder, switch hitter, really good eye, decent personality class here at the adaptability, work ethic, and baseball IQ. The holy trio, as we used to call it. He was signed for $900,000 flat. David Mendoza is a Mexican reliever, left-hander. Interesting profile, could be a decent like high control, suppress home runs, fastball splitter combo there. Hopefully he can develop for us. He is $1,500 signing bonus. And then last but not least, or definitely least, Luis Perez, who was a Brazilian switch-hitting 60 outfield range guy who we signed for $130,000, so basically pennies, and I just thought he was cool because he was Brazilian, and how often do you see somebody who's Brazilian in this game? Alrighty, folks, we have reached the end of the offseason here. It is time to kick off the 2031 season, but before we do that, it is time to go over what we did here in the offseason. So, starting off in the month of November, we did indeed re-sign Keegan Akin to a 2-year contract extension. He is back at age 35, almost 36, to be in our bullpen because he's just been so good for us that, like, why not at $7.5 million? And we also have a team option for $7.5 next year. If he's good, we'll bring him back. If not, it's just a cheap buyout. So Keegan Akin is back on the team. We also extended Hurston Waldrop to a 4-year extension, $45 million. We're basically just buying out his next 3 arbitration years and then buying out 1 year free agency at $18.5 million, his age 32 season. At that point, I tend to consider starters. If you're not like all-time greats, I'm not really looking to keep you around much longer than that. So Hurston Waldrop, we've got him through age 32, guaranteed, locked in. Hopefully he can stay healthy. He is just still normal injury proneness, so that is good. Even after his injury, he is ready for opening day to start opening day for us. Starlin Cava was also extended. He started the year in AAA as our depth shortstop. We did end up bringing back Max Acosta on a 1-year, $6.8 million contract. He does have 1 year of team control after this as well. We just could not come to terms with him for a 2-year deal, so hopefully we're able to extend him next year as well for not an insane price. And if I had to imagine, he's probably going to have a 2 WAR this year with like a 90 WRC+, because that's what Max Acosta does. We also hired a new bench coach in Ozzy, who has just incredible statistics here, or incredible ratings rather, as our bench coach. Then in the month of December, we go into free agency, and we don't do anything too crazy. We do end up signing Johnny Brito to a 3-year contract. He is in our rotation as a high control, decent movement, really good personality class. He's a captain, throws super hard, has just been a steady starter for San Diego and Cleveland throughout this save. So we gave him a 3-year deal. It is 2 years guaranteed at $6.16 million this year, $12 million it drops down to next year, and then $10 million for a team option 3rd season at age 35, but it does have $1 million buyout attached to it, so if he's bad, we can just walk away from it for a pretty cheap price. Then we also brought in Spencer Strider on a 1-year, $9 million contract, just to kind of give him a shot, see if he could be good in our system. You could see here, he's already down to wrecked because he's already gotten hurt. He's already gotten multiple nagging injuries, finger blister, sore back, all in spring training. They were just couple-day injuries, but he is now down to wrecked. He was fragile before we signed him. We're still going to give him a chance in the rotation to start the season, but I would not expect him to be pitching 32 starts for us this season. I wouldn't even expect 29 starts, to be honest. But we have the depth in the rotation to suffice, giving him a shot as a starter for us. We also went into free agency, and we should also mention we lost Peter Hubeck in the Rule 5 draft. He had no options, so we waived and DFA'd him, and I guess the Dodgers got him back, because that's who we got him from, wasn't it? Yes, he was in the Hurston Waldrop trade along with Bobby Miller and Peyton Martin. So yeah, he's now back with the Dodgers. I always thought he was a decent pitcher. He just was always kind of like the odd man out a lot of times. So he's going to go back to LA, and maybe they can use him. And then also just a couple other guys like Cesar Duran. This is much higher than it was when we had him, but apparently he's on the Los Angeles Angels. We'll get into the rebrands for some of the teams a little bit later on here. And then I had Jack Leiter stashed in AAA because we had to make sure he could never touch the major leagues again. And unfortunately, the Nationals are over here just being like, actually, we're going to use Jack Leiter in the major leagues. And I'm like, damn it! So, Jack Leiter back in the big leagues with Washington. We also made an interesting free agent signing here. I just saw he was out there, so I was like, Chandler Simpson, 95 speed, 85 steal aggression, 85 steal ability, 85 base running. We also ended up getting a dev boost bump to his bunting in the second round of dev labs that we ran. And now He has 65 sack bunt, 70 bunt for hit with this speed. He has a really good outfield range. So basically, he's on our roster here as the spot us a start here and there in center field, and then the main pinch runner, hoping that we can just be like, hey man, if we need speed late in the game, just throw this guy on the roster. Otherwise, the other person on the roster would have been like, I guess it would have been Peyton Eels, who's on waivers right now. You know, you could be like, you're insane for waiving Peyton Eels and keeping this guy on the roster. Well, what can I say? We're getting creative here. I thought it was an interesting thing to possibly try out. So we're going into the override strategy here. We're just cranking that shit all the way up. Stealing bases, base running, sack bunt, bunt for hit, all of it is cranked way the hell up. And we're just hoping that he can unleash some value here as a pinch runner, defensive replacement sort of player for us. And that is really all we did here in this free agency, here in this offseason. So let's just get into what our 26-man opening day roster is. The starting rotation 1 to 5 is Hurston Waldrop, Ryan Weathers, the 1 to 2 that's been there, Johnny Brito, Spencer Strider, and Peyton Martin is the 5th guy, who actually is now down to just fly ball pitcher, no longer a extreme fly ball guy, just regular fly ball, and he did have a successful dev lab boost to his secondary pitch, which we will get into when we go over those. But Peyton Martin, hoping he can be a pretty solid starter for us. While in the bullpen, we've got the double barrel action in the stopper role of Keegan Akin and Ryan Walker, the double barrel setup role of Mike Carrier and TJ Griffin, and then we have Noble Meyer, Eric Silva, Angel Chevy, and Carlos Meza, all in middle relief roles with different secondary roles. The reason why we went with Noble Meyer in the bullpen over Peyton Martin, or Peyton Martin in the rotation over Noble Meyer in the rotation, I should say. Noble Meyer just was not doing well in spring training. These ratings are all. See, I can't differentiate between the rotation and the bullpen, but you can see he only got 2 starts. He got rocked in those 2 starts. We moved into the bullpen, was really good in the bullpen, so we're giving him a shot in the bullpen. Whereas Peyton Martin, he was mainly in the bullpen in spring, I believe. No, he got 4 starts, and he was good in those 4 starts. So Peyton Martin got the starter job, while Noble Meyer is down in AAA. That's just, or not AAA, he's in the bullpen for us. So that's that. Silva, Chevy, he got the job here in the bullpen. And then we're also having the double barrel stopper here of, you know, ideally you like to have a guy who has like 35 stamina, but like Keegan Akin's been performing plenty fine in that role of 30 stamina. So I was like, why not get the double barrel action and get Keegan Akin here with Ryan Walker, who also has 30 stamina, as 2 really good veteran stoppers. And then we have Mike Carrier, who has 40 stamina in like a setup 6th or later stopper secondary, and TJ Griffin, who has terrible stamina in that setup 6th or later / high leverage role. These are our 4 dudes in the bullpen, and these are the complementary guys down here. When it comes to the lineups, it's pretty similar to last year. It's Brooks Lee playing second base and leading off, Shedry Vargas in left, Wilfredo Lara at third, Agustin Ramirez catching in the cleanup spot, Sean Noel DHing, Partridge playing first, Acosta at short, Garza in right, and Dylan Head in center field, rounding things out. We have Palma as the backup catcher. Camilo Diaz is the main backup bench bat and first baseman, or bench infielder, I should say. Mikov is platooning with Garza. Chandler Simpson is the backup center fielder, and as well as pinch runner. And then Nicholas Partridge and Diaz split time backing up the DH. Not that that ever really happens. While against lefties, it's Diaz playing first base, Partridge goes to the bench, and Mikov is in right field while Garza becomes the 4th outfielder. I could also probably just throw Simpson on the corners here, just to, give us another option in the corners, because why not? Probably never start him there, though. But just give us an option to have somebody come in and play those roles in, desperation, rather than the game just kind of, guessing and putting whoever there. We have Chandler Simpson as designated as the second utility role for those ones. So that's what the lineups look like. Let's take a look at the dev labs here. I believe they are all done. Well, of course they're all done. What am I saying? So in the first set of Dev Labs, we had Peyton Martin. He had a successful change to his changeup, improvement to his changeup. Don't really know if it's visible here, but, the Dev Lab says it was. Mike Carrier, Meza, no improvement. Same for Dylan Head and Garza. But we did, and then also Sean will no improvement. But we did have improvement on Camilo Diaz. Current power rating by 20. Apparently that's the editor number in this game, but it wasn't in previous years and last year's game because, why would it be consistent? But his power does go up to 65. I believe it was 55 before, now it's 65. So definitely looking like he could be a really, really, really good power bat for us this season. And then we had Mikov, who had an outstanding improvement. Potential eye improves by 5. The current eye improves by 10. Looks the same to me, but it does say it went up, so we'll just believe it. Angel Shaviyi improved his slider a tad. We saw his profile is looking pretty decent as a reliever for us this season. And then also Ramon Hernandez, that reliever we threw in, did indeed improve his control by less than 5, so it's not very visible. But even with this control, this stuff, and this fastball sinker cutter mix he's got going, plus the 100-mile-an-hour velocity, he's starting the year in Double-A, but he could make his way up to the big leagues in the bullpen if he just starts absolutely shoving at this level, because he has 80 potential. And honestly, 80 potential, if he starts getting into the 50s, I might just be like, hey man, we'll just throw you in the rotation and see how it goes. And then taking a look at the second round of Dev Labs, Brooks Lee, we just threw him in again for infield defense, and he improved again, folks. So Brooks Lee, all of a sudden, a 70-range infielder, and now it's looking like maybe next year we just move on from Acosta, trade him for what we can get for him, and Brooks Lee becomes our shortstop, and Camilo Diaz can play full-time second base. That's maybe a possibility for us, because Brooks Lee, it looks like even better of a defender than he has been previously. Hopefully it translates to actually results this season with the ZR. No improvement for Vargas' defense. Wilfredo Lara did improve his third base. Don't really know if it's noticeable here, but he did improve it. That's what it says. Nothing changed on Peyton Eels. We tried to improve his defense. Agustin Ramirez slightly improved his catching. Looks the same to me, but hopefully, he's a little bit better this season. Marcantonio Plone, one of our top prospects. We tried to improve his outfield defense. He did not do that. He's starting the year in Double-A. PJ Morlando, no improvement to his defense. Same for Camilo Diaz with the infield and Partridge at the infield. But then Chandler Simpson did get that improvement on his bunting like I talked about. And then just a quick little roundup of some of the prospects here, because I feel like it's been a bit since I've gone into some of our prospects. We've already talked about Ramon Hernandez here. Briefly mentioned Mark Antonio Plone, whatever this guy's name is, the Venezuelan Italian. He's fragile, which is not great, but coming off an electric season in Single-A Jupiter. Going to start the year in Pensacola this year for us. He could be a really, really, really good bat, and he could be in the big leagues this season. We've got some serious talent coming up the pipeline now. A lot of our guys that were super far away, they're starting to get closer here, and this guy is one of them. We signed him as an international amateur back in 2026. No, 2027. 2027 for the max. He was one of those years we just signed one guy, and so far, he's looking damn good. We also have Mike Bird, who's starting the year in Double-A. Unfortunately, torn labrum, so he's going to miss the majority of this season. Hopefully, he's already fragile now, too. Unfortunate, because he was one of those college relievers we took who looked like he could be really good. Hopefully, he can still be good when he comes back from the torn labrum. We've also got somebody like Pedro Patino, who is another one of these low-control, insane stuff sort of guys. Already has a really good fastball slider mix. He's going to not be in a regular A-ball to start the year. I'm pretty sure I'm going to start him in high A-ball because he wasn't A-ball last year. So we're going to put him in high A this year. Hopefully he can tap into some of this development. He's another guy where he's got 80 stamina. It says he's going to be a good starter. So, if he ends up in the big leagues, why not let him try to see if he can do something in the rotation? I doubt it works with the control, but, why not? Why not try? We also have our guy Kurt Tebow here, who was our second-round draft pick in 2027. He is developing pretty nicely. Looks like he could be a possible good pitcher for us. He's not like the 70 potential he was when we drafted him or whatever, but still looks like he could be a decent pitcher starting the year in A-ball in Jupiter. He might quickly work his way to Double-A, though. Honestly, what is he at Double-A right now? Yeah, he's good. He should be in Double-A right now. We're just going to put him straight away in Double-A. We have Esteban Serrano down in Double-A as well. He was a scouting discovery for us in the first season, the first off-season here in September. Or no, that's not off-season. That's, end of the end of 2025. And he's just been plugging along in the minors. Last year was in Double-A, definitely his least successful season. Hopefully he can develop and turn into one of these like high movement, high control guys for us, because I like those kind of pitchers. Another guy who's just worth mentioning, Jose Hernandez here. The ratings on paper aren't great, but he could be like an interesting bullpen spot you a fifth start here and there sort of guy. 21 years old. He was another scouting discovery, Panamanian, interesting player. And then we also have Brian Burnett, who just kind of came out of nowhere last year. He was in rookie ball, apparently. I just totally lost track of this guy as a 9th-round pick. And he was okay. He was pretty good in A-ball or rookie ball last year. And now it just looks like he's good enough for Double-A, and he could be in the big league soon. So Brian Burnett is starting the year in Triple-A, and he could suddenly just be in the big league soon. Was he a high school guy? Yes, he was a high school out of some Philadelphia high school in the 9th round for us. And all of a sudden now looking like he could be a legit pitcher for us. I don't know if they've like tweaked the development for pitchers or something since the last time I played. I don't have the thing to be juiced. This is what my aging and whatnot is on. 0.950 for the aging speed. 1.025 for the batter dev speed. Same with the pitching as the aging speed, and then the dev speed is just the usual 1.00 flat. So maybe I could bump that up a little bit considering it's been bad, but we've got some pitchers developing, so maybe I'll just leave it the way it is. We're going to keep it like that just to show you guys that's what my aging has been. That's what the aging has been this entire time for this entire series. I have not touched this since I started the Marlins save. And then just quickly, the preseason predictions. The Red Sox are projected to win the AL East, with the Yankees, Rays, Orioles, and Blue Jays all to be pretty scrappy. The Guardians are projected to win the Central, with the Tigers and Royals behind them. The West is projected to be absolutely garbage, with the Rangers winning it with 81 wins. And then on the National League side of things, we are projected to win the East with the Philadelphia Phillies behind us. They're always low on us. They always think we're going to win less games than we do, and then we just win 95 plus every year. So let's just do it again. Why not? They also think we're going to steal a ton of bags, which is, probably correct with Dylan Head and a lot of the speed we have on our roster. On the Central, it's going to be the Reds with the Brewers and Cubs behind them. And then the Dodgers with 100 wins in the West with the Rockies behind them, and also the Padres as a pretty solid team. So now let's just quickly run through the rebrands that we did. Starting off with the Arizona Diamondbacks. They are now purple. They are returning to their... What am I looking for here? Settings. Yes. They are now back to being the purple D-backs here with their homes and their aways. And then we also kept the City Connects because I think the Serpiente City Connects are one of the best ones that have been made. I think their current ones are really good. The City Connects they just came out with this year are also really good. But I'm also a big fan of these, and these are just already in the game, so I figured why not keep them. And then we also rebranded... I showed you guys the White Sox. We also rebranded the Astros. I mentioned that we would put them back as like the red and black and gold that they were wearing when I was growing up. A lot of these teams I just rebranded to what they were wearing when I was growing up. The Astros, the black pinstripes on the home, the away, and then we kept some of the color. We got the Tequila Sunrise unis every home Friday game, so they'll be rocking those in this save as well. And then we also rebranded the Angels to just be wearing the same stuff they were wearing in our Angels save. The best look, the navy blue and the red, I think it's by far their best look. They should absolutely just go to some modern version of this. Just I know that in real life they have like the alts that are kind of looking like this. They should just have those as their regular homes, and then a gray version as their roads, and that should just be what the Angels look like. Maybe they're trying to pivot to that, but if I was in charge, it would be 3 years ago. That would have been what we did. The Padres. We also rebranded the Padres back to be navy blue and orange. This is what they wore in like the late 90s, very early 2000s. So, or I guess through the most of the 90s. This was not when I was growing up. I was born in 96. So I remember these jerseys, but they weren't going on as I was like, cognizant when I had like actual opinions on baseball. But I do think they're a good set. So they're rocking those on home and the away. And then we also just kept the crazy City Connects because why not? Then we also rebranded the Tampa Bay Rays. I did the same rebrand for them in the Angels series last year, rocking I think it was the 98, the 98 ones with the like the gradient Devil Rays home and away. And then we kept their City Connects because I think those are cool City Connects too with the skateboarding Ray logo. I think it's pretty cool, pretty snazzy. And then we also rebranded the Blue Jays to be wearing what they wore when I was growing up, even though I don't think it's exactly a good look, just to change it up. Why not? We did keep them some options though, so they're wearing this as their main home, this is their main away, but we kept all the blue tops for every home Sunday game because that was just what the default was. Every home Saturday game, the baby blues because I think those are a good look, and then the Friday games, the red Canada tops because why not? It's not like I think the Blue Jays look is bad. I think the Blue Jays look is actually quite good. I just wanted to mix it up because why not? But that will wrap things up here for this edition of the Marlins on OOTP. The off-season video is now done. Next time we will be starting off the 2031 campaign. I don't know why I'm doing like an Angel-style outro right now, but I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I'm saying, I don't know, man, I don't have a bit. Listen to Cloud Nothings. Great band.